Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching ECLECTICKA. Michael 7 Michael, we've got Charles Dixon, aka Sensei Vegan. We got a special guest, Michael.
New blood.
And
New Jack.
What's up?
Holding down the West Coast always, in the whole universe. That's right, holding down the whole internet. We've got Drew. How you doing, sir?
Holding down the whole. Wow, we're all doomed. How's it going? I'm holding down the. Wish you guys would have voted me on that one, but yeah.
ECU, the Eclectic Universe.
So we ended our last episode saying that we're going to talk a little bit about Stranger Things. So Drew, I saw season 1 and 2 back to back. I just ran through all of it.
Excellent, as you should. It's an easily burn throughable show.
It is I was surprised. It was an easy burn through. But you were watching this from day one.
From Jump Street, yeah, I heard some people that was getting good reviews. They say, hey, if you liked E.T. or any of those other movies from like back in the day, this is definitely a show for you. I checked it out and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And season 2 delivered more of the same, but they changed just enough to keep it interesting. And then there are things that they did which were kind of for the sake of making an interesting plot and forcing conflict. But overall, I thought it was really good.
Now, what did you think about this girl coming back in part 2? The way we just assumed she was dead, that she was just destroyed, and all of us, 11. The character's name was 11.
Oh?
And or L, aka L, and what'd you think of that?
Okay, well, let's start with our guest first, Michael. Did you watch Stranger Things? Are you on board? You're up to speed?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put you on the hot seat since today. It's like Fight Club rules. Your first night of Fight Club, you have to fight. So, take it away. What were your thoughts on that?
I loved the second season, and the relationships were like one of my favorite things. So seeing Dustin and Lucas kind of develop, because the first season they're kind of on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But seeing like Dustin, I hated like what he did, but I love him as like a character person.
Yeah.
But it was a fun season.
Yeah, I was on that same boat because Dustin, he's probably one of my favorite characters. I love that kid to death. I call the whole group the collective my goobers because they're just a bunch of little Scooby dorks who go out and get in all these crazy adventures and saving the planet and all of the crazy fly stuff. This was the season of what I call unnecessary lies because Dustin, like other characters, were doing just balls stupid, unnecessary stuff, keeping secrets that didn't need to really be secrets. This season, they found this little tiny creature who they name D'Artagnan, or Dart for short. We realized early on that, holy crap, Dart's actually kind of savage once he evolves into his second form, a.k.a. Pokemon. But it starts killing stuff. It kills the mom's cat. The poor mom's cat gets brutally eaten by Dart. And Dusty's plan is, well, I'm not going to tell the others that I found him when he escapes. I'm just going to keep him to myself and assume that nothing will go wrong. Why did you do that? You didn't need to lie about that. That was totally stupid. Hopper, the police chief of Hawkins, he finds Elle. We come to find out, we think that she's, well, not really, because they settled that in the first season. But Elle was missing at the end of the first season. My apologies. And she's stuck in that in-between null space in the Upside Down, right? Hopper finds her. She makes her way back. And then he proceeds to keep her locked up in his stupid shack for like a year for no reason whatsoever. Aside from just, well, we need to keep her a secret. We can't let anybody know that she's back. You can't tell her homies, yo, guys, low-key, I found Elle. She's safe. She's with me. Keep it quiet. It was completely unnecessary why he kept that a secret, especially considering the fact that this girl's eventually going to be like, all right, screw this. I'm psychic. I'm just going to leave. Which is what she does. So it was just, a bunch of unnecessary secrets.
Now there was a connection that almost kind of made sense with the, he lost his daughter. So now this is another chance for him to have that kind of relationship, which I get it. They could even play on that a little more.
They could have, but yeah, he turned into more of like a jailer. It felt like,
Right.
and that's why she rebels, and that's why she leaves. So it's not the issue of I'm trying to be a good father. It's I'm jealously keeping you to myself, and I'm not going to tell your friends that you're okay. I'm going to let them all think that, for all you know, that they think you're dead.
Right.
Which, again, unnecessary. Will trying to like be cagey about the mind flare. Like, remember I was like pissing and moaning last season because he's spitting up at the end of the season. He's spitting up space slugs, and he's not telling his mom that he's still kind of shifting between here and the upside down. What do you think? Your mom's not gonna believe you? She can be like, "Nah, homie, you're full of it. You're crap. You're insane."
Yeah, that was a little weird. Like, why wouldn't he tell somebody? He didn't even tell his friends, anybody. Yeah, that didn't make sense.
He was like trying to be like all low key about it. No, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm like, no, you're not okay. Just tell us. We went to the bowels of hell looking for your ass last season. Give us an update. How you feeling? You spitting up any slugs recently? You see any weird parallel universe crap? No, you're good. Okay.
I thought it was weird how they kept taking him to the doctor and doing all these tests.
Yeah, they take him to Paul Reiser this season,
Right.
who's actually not a scummy corporate scumbag in this one. It was pretty good.
But actually, you summed it up actually brilliantly. It is a whole season of lies for no reason. And you figured even coming from the doctor, he could have said, hey, Mom, by the way, I keep going between the two worlds. Yeah.
Yeah, but he thought, well, the cool thing about that bit is that the doctor thought that it was all not psychosomatic, but he thought that he was having a PTSD, post-traumatic stress from being there, which makes sense. But he was probably one of the fewer, he was a less of a problem than I think some of the other characters were. There was one other thing when it came to like Steve. You know, so last season Steve was a sociopathic douchebag who wrote like Nancy is a whore on the theater thing. They had to make him less crappy, so they added in. That's exactly what I did. Max's brother, who's just like a psychopath and he's Mr. 80s, you know, haircut, flock of seagulls. He rolls up and you realize that he's there to just be the worst version of Steve. That's why he's there, like punking him out the whole season. I thought they were gonna work in some cool, like low key, you know, homoerotic angle where he actually likes Steve, but he doesn't know how to quite go about his feelings, so he's super, you know, aggressive. But they didn't do that. It wasn't a thing. But
also, also the new characters, like going off that Steve and Sean Astin's character, Sean Astin, who like came back from Middle Earth to shoot this. Those two characters added so much. They added so much to the show.
Yeah. Poor Bob, dude. And he was probably one of the best parts of this season, I think, just because he is so out of his element, and I so cannot see him as anyone else but Samwise Gamgee. I'm like, damn, dude, they're giving Sam the Jurassic Park treatment where he has to turn off the system, turn it back on, and then use the unit system to reactivate everything. And then homie, you have that big moment in the season where homie goes out like, not a hero, but as the sacrificial red shirt. That's, but yeah.
Now, of course, the big talk in town, Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole other video in itself. I kind of was hoping we could hold off on that.
We can hold. Yeah, we can do that. We could do a whole episode of Ragnarok. We could do that.
Yeah, because there's enough in that movie where I think we can carry that on for about 30 minutes because I got some stuff to say about that one.
Have a few, yeah.
But
say one thing: the Justice League is coming out, and no more footage, folks.
We don't need him.
No more footage.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys go first, but I'm gonna put this concept or idea on the table and see what happens. With as much as we've seen and as much as we've heard about the film so far, because this movie has had some stuff go down behind the scenes and on the screen.
Right.
If this movie isn't a hit and it doesn't redeem all the other problems that we've seen in the DC films, okay, what do you think will be the next step for Warner Brothers? What happens after this if Justice League isn't a hit?
I think they're going to call us, the Eclectica crew, to come in and write and clean up their mess.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Absolutely.
This will be like an arrow through the heart if this movie flops, they're in trouble, man. They're going to be in major trouble. You know, they had a good cleanup with Wonder Woman, so they need to carry that momentum. But if they don't, I don't see them. They can recover, but it's going to be hard, man, because they're getting thumped by freaking Marvel. So they're already trying to play catch up, you know?
Up till now, yeah, sure. Mike, what do you got? What's your prediction?
Well, if this doesn't work, then Batman reboot. Just like Batman reboot the whole thing.
Another
They've
one?
already done that like 5 times
Mhm.
from the 90s to now. Or you go into Cyborg and the Flash and bring those characters to the big screen in terms of feature films.
Mhm.
Because Flash, the TV series, is really great, and they could just have that. They already have the audience, so you just bring that to the national overall distribution stage of like theaters. It will instantly bring in the crowd.
So when you say that, you mean like taking Grant Gustin and their cast and then making a film from that version of the Flash?
Oh no, not necessarily. I mean, they could totally do that. They probably would get an audience, but I mean, take the success and the good things from Flash and bring that into movies like you've done with Batman. You know, you've done with like Wonder Woman.
Okay. I see what you mean.
That's actually a valid point. They might have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, if this doesn't work, metaphorically, we're dealing with kind of a crap sandwich. So the idea from there on would be, all right, what toppings or other condiments can we add to this crap sandwich to make it a little bit more palatable? And if Justice League flops, we did learn, we talked about this like a few shows, at least like a couple shows ago, that DC and Warner Brothers, they're planning this wave of standalone films that aren't connected to any of the other series or the cinematic canon. And I feel that the reason that they're doing that is because they want to test the waters and see which one out of this wave of films that are not connected, whichever one doesn't suck, we'll just pool all of our resources and make that the new canon, which is totally cheap. And it's completely it's not.
Too.
It's a gamble, and it doesn't make for a coherent universe. It's like we messed up. We couldn't do what Marvel did, so we'll just shotgun these other films out into the ether and just latch on to whichever one of those is a success.
Pre-production for the next Wonder Woman is already in play because they made so much money. So I agree with Michael on that they're going to pull their resources into Flash. There's a lot of interest with Aquaman, just because it's a new presentation of Aquaman. But definitely, I think there's going to be one more film with either Aquaman, Green Lantern, or Flash.
They're holding Green Lantern kind of close to the chest right now, just because they remember what happened that last time that they tried that.
Mm-hmm.
But Green Lantern, the Flash, honestly, real stuff, I don't know enough about Cyborg in the comic run to really be like, okay, maybe he could sustain a thing. I don't think so. I love him in Teen Titans.
Well, with the success of Black Panther, which we know is going to happen,
please
think they're going to do
don't do that and set me up for that disappointment. Fingers crossed on Black Panther.
I wouldn't give him his own movie. I would not give Cyborg his own movie. I wouldn't. I don't think he would have that same impact that Black Panther's going to have. I don't.
Well, no.
You can't hold Cyborg up to that standard. Dude.
Nah, not yet.
Right. Black Panther is in I feel like a lot of circles right now, especially as it pertains to nerds of color, like he's kind of our golden child right now, and he's been around for a super long time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of lore surrounding him, and he's a very active character in the comics. So he's had a lot more to work with and a lot more time to, I guess, simmer and like sink in for a lot of fans. Cyborg hasn't been given that same treatment. He just hasn't.
Well, I said they're gonna pick one of those three. Then we're gonna have another Wonder Woman. Then they're gonna do Batman, and I think after whatever those 3 movies are, then they're gonna make their decisions, because Ben Affleck, I mean, since they started with the Justice League, since they did Batman versus Superman, they already were Ben Affleck was already working on his solo Batman movies.
That took
Right.
took a few different stages too,
Right.
because he was originally supposed to lead in that movie as Batman, but he was also supposed to direct, and then he was like, on second thought, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm
Right.
straight. It could go in a few different directions. Which of you guys are you most excited to see individually, as far as solo films go?
For me,
Aquaman.
Aquaman. All right. Aquaman's cool. It's Jason Momoa, so I'm gonna give him a shot. I like
yeah.
this.
For me, it would be a coin toss up between Flash and Aquaman, because I think we stated on the show before, Drew, and we said, I think all three of us said this before. If you do Aquaman right, that would make for a stellar film.
Aquaman's a beast, man. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the old one. Hey,
No,
like I said,
not
riding on a
giant
dolphin or
seahorse.
riding on a seahorse or something like that.
Yeah, a giant
But I
seahorse.
mean, like the new version, if you do it right, and I'm a Flash fan because I used to collect a lot of Flash stuff.
Mhm.
I think.
So wait a minute, Charles. So you don't want to have any?
Nah, not that
No.
one, man.
No.
Yeah, you got all
we
these
definitely
fierce
need
creatures
those
in the ocean. He riding on a damn seahorse or a dolphin.
Giant seahorse, man.
Man. Come on a great white shark or something, man.
Nice. What about you, Seven?
Out of all the, let's see. I want another Green Lantern. I'm looking
Green
forward to Green Lantern.
Which one? That's the next
John
thing.
Stewart.
Right.
John Stewart. I know a
Right.
lot of
Gotta
people
come
want
with John Stewart.
I'm kind of in the opposing camp. I want my dude Kyle Rayner, the artist, just because it fits so much with his power set. He's the creative one. He knows how things are like supposed to look structurally. So bring that into the mix. I feel like Ryan Reynolds should have been Kyle Rayner instead of Hal Jordan.
Oh, Jordan.
Yeah, I think that would have worked a lot more for his style. But I'm kind of torn. I do want to see Aquaman, but then at the same time, I also do want to see The Flash. And then on a third level to that, I kind of want them to jump into more of the lesser seen Gotham characters, like Gotham City Sirens. If you took the really great action sequences that you saw in Sucker Punch, which is overall a crap movie,
Yeah.
take those action sequences and put that into an ensemble thing that features some of the lesser known female characters in DC, that could be freaking fierce, man. That could be
We
dope.
already stated that. You said Sirens with Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and that would make a nice film. Too.
And it's a rotating cast, and it shows characters that we haven't seen yet, so we can get like a few different actresses to come in and play these different roles in these new iterations of these, beloved comic book characters, and just go back and give that movie the treatment that Suicide Squad really needed. I mean, it's a pretty crazier ideas, but yeah.
We said the formula. We say it every effing show, man. The same risk that they take with them effing animes,
Right.
them DC animated movies. They need to bring some of them freaking things to the screen.
But see, at the same time, why do that then? You just watch the good. I've said this before. Like, watch the original, watch the animated version.
Yeah, but they need a ticket. They need something to boost them up, man. Or at least have those writers again that do that. Just create something, man. That same thing that you would create for that anime or animation movie. Take it to the freaking screen, even if it's something different.
Well, the Gotham Sirens. Is it the Gotham City Sirens? What is the official title?
I'm pretty sure it's Gotham City Sirens.
Yeah, I mean that would see that's so different.
Yep.
The concept is different and outside of the box. I think that would bring a lot of energy to DC.
All it is, it sounds a lot scarier than it really is. But you know what? Real quick breakdown of what it is. Remember in Pulp Fiction when Uma Thurman's explaining that pilot show for Fox Force 5 that she was doing? Okay, that's all it is, really, at its core. It's that, except you're using people who used to be supervillains or were heroes who have become like kind of wayward or whatever, or just have it a mix of superheroes or superheroines rather, and supervillainesses, and for whatever circumstance, whatever reason, they come together and they're forced to work together. Maybe they're in a life.
Isn't that the Defenders?
Well, yeah,
different camp,
a lot more interesting and a whole lot less Danny Rand. But,
right.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah, it's Fox Force 5. Just was super folk.
Wow.
Badass.
Oh, well, you know what? There is another rumor that actually would help out DC a lot, or could. and that is the Leonardo DiCaprio playing Joker and doing a standalone of Joker, which is just a gangster movie. But
You guys take that one away. I've already said
Nah, dude, that's just leave that alone.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Mike,
I would.
You probably have something nice to say about it, so I'm gonna let you.
I really don't. I wouldn't. Joker does not need a standalone movie. He doesn't.
Yeah, we already kind of ruled in on that one, but we got.
Yeah, he doesn't need a standalone movie. I just. For what?
well, you know what? What would your guess be when Ben Affleck plays Batman? What do you think, or should I say, who do you think his villain would be in that film?
Probably not gonna be Joker because
No.
Jared Leto, my man. Oh boy. We've seen Joker enough, I feel, right now. In my opinion, Heath Ledger is still king when it comes to iterations of that character on live action. And in the animated verse, it's always going to be Mark Hamill. That's end of story. But if you're going to go into this new Batman in this cinematic universe, I think that they should probably focus on one of the... I'm kind of torn with this one. It should either be someone like the Riddler, who can actually showcase more of Batman's detective deductive skills, which we just for some reason hate to do in the live action movies. We hate making him show that he has an intellect, past just I'm going to invent some Tony Stark-esque stuff and just hit the gym, and then I'll be prepared. But either Riddler or take a gamble and make it about the Court of the Owls.
That would be hot. That would be nice.
This fresh take, with this fresh take that we're doing on Batman.
That would be nice.
And Gotham being essentially untapped in this new cinematic universe, you could totally add in the whole idea that there's this clandestine organization of owl-themed killers and assassins and benefactors and stuff who have been overseeing Gotham and are kind of like behind all these other events. They could be the antithesis of, why am I forgetting her name? Amanda Waller and her whole Suicide Squad initiative.
Crooked Waller.
Crooked Nixon-esque Waller. You have her, and then you also have the Court of the Owls, who are kind of been operating behind the scenes for, I think it's like decades or centuries or something like that. That could be badass.
Wait, I think even like going back to what you said about the Riddler, I think that'd be pretty cool. And I would actually try to team them up with like you have the Brawn. I mean, you have the brains, you have the brawn, and this is a really off the wall. I don't know if many people like this character. I like Clayface. I like Clayface a lot. So if you had the Riddler there and you had Clayface kind of come in to be the power behind it,
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
See, now if that were the case, let's actually each weigh in on this one. If that were going to be the case, and we're going to go with Riddler as being the mastermind, the intellectual mastermind who crafts all these crazy traps and stuff like that, I would either want to go with Clayface, or I'd want to go with Poison Ivy.
That could work.
I think Poison Ivy would be rad, just because I want to see a shot where she has this giant, plant monster thing that actually eats people. Just because it's one of the most badass moments in the show when you see Poison Ivy roll down on this giant, plant thing that's on some Feed Me Seymour type stuff. And you just have her go and be like the, femme fatale, lethal, seductress thing. That'd be badass.
And, there could be a connection between when Superman said, now, if this happens, they were watching this show. But when a lot of things were bounced off of the fact that Superman was fighting. Who was he fighting from his planet?
Who are you talking about?
Zod.
Right. So... Again, like let's say something, she was in the lab and that's what turned her into the woman that she is.
Oh,
making some sort of connection. That would be interesting. Because when they show her, even in the Gotham, she had an affinity for plants and stuff, which makes sense. But she's supposed to be. That's how
they did it on the show too.
Right.
That's how they did it on the cartoon. She loved plants or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
She's kind of like an eco-terrorist / psychotic. I think that should have happened before. If you're gonna see like an origin story for Poison Ivy, it should predate. There were things that were happening prior to Man of Steel.
Right.
Like that's once we gotta step aside and realize, oh my God, there were other interesting things that were going on. Right. So if she has her accident and becomes Poison Ivy prior to that, that would make more sense, especially considering the fact that Batman is older.
Right.
He's already pretty much put
Gotcha.
down. He's already come across and fought against the vast majority of his rogues gallery. So we don't need an origin story for Poison Ivy. She's already the framework for her is already there.
Well, that's what made, I think, when you guys watch Flash,
Yeah.
the
I just
series?
finished. Well,
Catch up.
yeah, I'm good. I think they only have four shows for the new season, right? 4, I think, so far.
Mhm. I mean, one thing I
see-
find interesting about that show is so many villains were created at the same time Flash was because of that
Yeah.
generator explosion.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good for a show's format. For films, you can't have everything. I mean, you can, but if you're trying to make this broader universe where there's all this other elements and prehistory and have capacity for other things to happen outside of just one movie, you got to have things predate, the big fight that we saw in Man of Steel.
Right.
You just have to. So they kind of did that with Batman v Superman, but I think that most of the guys that he's fought over the years are already established in an Arkham by this point. When you meet,
See,
Okay.
that was the problem with Man of Steel. I got to jump in. I'm glad you said that. When you look at Man of Steel, right, that whole fight scene, it was like Batman and Superman just met. They didn't just meet. In that animated movie, they knew each other already. Remember, they tangled before. It wasn't like they didn't know. Yeah, it wasn't like they didn't know each other.
no, this is because that was them in their elder years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but the way they took and they tried to squeeze that in, like they're just it kind of conflicted in the movie a little bit, man.
Well, that's the whole. I think what you're getting at is the whole decision for them to make Bruce older.
Yeah.
I thought that made sense. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. If it's the opposite, I thought that actually worked better for Bruce Wayne's the whole thing because it gave him enough time to set things up.
No, I don't mind him being older, but what I'm saying is it was like they just took and they slammed Superman in there because I already know Bruce is older, especially when he makes that comeback. You understand what I mean? So to me, it was kind of conflicting. I knew he was older.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, so
You're
we
giving us
will
the wrap-up
we'll
segment?
start from there, and then we'll go into Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
All right, so thank you very much for watching this episode. Michael Seven Michael, we've got Sensei Vegan. Thank you very much, Charles Dixon.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
We got our man Michael from STV Network. What's going on, Mike? And we've got our man Drew, the master of the universe.
Please don't say stuff like that. No.
Cut He-Man jokes, man.
Oh man. He's like, not the whole universe, just the internet.
Not even the internet. I don't even want that kind of responsibility. I don't want that help.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Responsibility, yeah.